Welcome back. It is the Bust Picks yearly awards. I know celebration. You know, end of a new year. Hope everybody had a great holidays. Don, what'd you get for Christmas this year?
No, it was didn't get too much. I got some new monitors so we could edit a little bit cleaner. And also I could just game out to Baldur's Gate for a while.
But I mean, we're not a game podcast, but like,
no,
I can't wait to go into your office and just download the new NCAA remastered version and just lose hours in your room. I'm so excited. You don't even know it was that. This is the first he's hearing about it.
Yeah, no, this is new.
I got this jersey, cool knitted Colts jersey. Very, very excited.
It goes hard.
Did I curse the Colts last week? Yes.
Possibly.
If we lose to the Raiders, which we're going to talk about, definitely. So we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But Don, fact of the day.
Fact of the day. Did you know Jordan technically wore 3 different numbers in the NBA?
Don, it happened. I do know it.
You do?
I do know it.
Oh, my goodness. It only took, 14 different tries?
But if I don't get the numbers right, that technically means I didn't know
Okay. Well, you know the 2 big ones.
45.
Yep.
23.
Yeah.
13.
No.
15.
12.
God damn it.
No, 12 was the 1990 Orlando Magic game on the road where someone went and stole his jersey out the locker room, and he had to just wear a replacement jersey with no name on it.
I hope he dropped like 90 that game. I know he didn't, but like I hope he went off that game.
Like just went ham.
Yeah, and he just like, check this out. And it's like the rarest jersey in the world now.
No one has really claimed to have had the OG.
Yeah.
Like the one that was stolen, which is interesting.
It's very funny that you like, we're talking about jerseys. My question of the day is about jerseys.
Yeah, I figured it was a jersey day, end of season, end of year, I mean.
Thank you. What's the fastest and best number on a jersey for a wide receiver? You see that, and I know that things have changed because it's now solo, but if you see a wide receiver, a running back, a defensive end, or a corner, a safety, what's the number that makes you go instinctively, that's a bad man?
Honestly, for wide receiver, 88.
Quarterback, anything.
88 for wide receiver. If I see a wide receiver wearing 88,
that's an old man's number.
That's an old man's number. That's the man that's going to put you in the dirt on his way by you.
That's a blocking tight end number in today. If I see
nowadays, yeah, but like back in the day,
the number 7 is built for speed. It literally looks like someone's cutting.
It does.
The number 7 is like, that's Michael Vick. You know,
yeah,
like that's it. It's nothing but speed. And I know someone's gonna be like, Christian Ponder wore number 7 or something like that. I'm like, no, not him. You know, clearly not him. But like, number 7, Trayvon Diggs. Like these are guys that I'm like, it's synonymous with like, oh, these guys take off.
That's true. I'm thinking more classical numbers when we divide
classical
it up
numbers.
A bit.
The fastest number in all of like football is 21.
Yeah, that is
that's LT. That's Dion. Like that's the number
that is
that like when I'm like, that's an athlete.
I'm just thinking of like when you said a bad man. I'm like, if you wear, I think I 100% support the idea. Every single team, if they have a over 6 foot receiver that's like 28, 29, they need to wear 81 or 88.
I think by the time you're like, if you're 6'3", you automatically are like, you have to wear 85. You know,
you have to wear in the 80s. Like that's just
that's a slower number.
Well, but also that's I'm going to high point a ball over 3 guys and just treat them like they're nothing.
Correct, but that's a, you know.
That's a bad man in my mind.
Let's move on, guys. Like I alluded to earlier, it is our yearly award show.
Yes.
Me and Don are going to give out some golden busts. We're going to send them in the mail just like with our golden stickers, golden star stickers every week. We're going to start with a fun one.
Sure.
We came up with these categories. Don's going to bring a nominee to the table. I'm going to bring one. We're going to debate it out.
All right.
First award. The Who's This Guy Award. This goes to the person that we had no idea existed before the season started. Honorable mention for me is Austin Reeves. As a Laker fan, seeing Austin Reeves come out of the shadows was insane. I love Austin Reeves. You don't win this award, you know, it's a 1-year basis. He's like a rookie of the year. You only get one shot to be the Who's This Guy of the Year.
And this is a little tough because we're talking end of NBA season into the beginning of the next NBA season.
Yeah, but
end of football to beginning of football.
Was popping,
he was popping early. He was popping all through 2023. But we're taking year, not individual season. Correct. We're taking the year inclusive of the calendar year. For mine, I'm taking Coco Gauff.
Don't know who that is.
Um,
Don't know who that is.
she won the U.S. Women's Open at 19,
Look at this guy.
just in October.
Including women. Progressive.
I hate you so much for that.
Progressive.
No, I mean, like if you follow tennis, she was a big name. Like she made to the
You
China
become
Open semifinals.
The biggest golf fan, or the biggest tennis fan.
I just enjoy like it's the only sport that's on 24 hours, and if you work my hours, it makes sense.
No, for sure.
It's one of the few. But no, like she was the first teenager to win the U.S. Open since Serena. She was 19 when she did it, but she was known in the sport, but I think she became a national name after winning that one. Kind of came out of nowhere for a lot of people. And as 19 years old, that's impressive. She just took the spotlight and ran with it in my mind.
I love it. That's your award. I'm gonna give mine another honorable mention. Puka Nacua, very very good. Puka Nacua coming literally out of nowhere. I know he played at BYU, but like I watched BYU games last year, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah,
the
that's
fact
true.
that Puka Nacua is like a legit top 20 receiver this year, he came out of nowhere. But there's one athlete when I think of 2023, I did not know who this guy is, and the fact
Okay.
that I know who this person is now deserves why he should get this.
Okay.
That's Max Verstappen. This guy is electric. Why are you laughing? I didn't know who he was a year ago.
No, because this is where you start talking to me about more about racing. This is his third world championship year. Third in a row.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that. The Who's This Guy of the Year award just went to a guy who's won 3 world champions.
No, I think
Chips?
I think Coco, if you're just casual viewer of sports, if you're a big football guy
give it
or you're a
Coco.
big North American, ask go to Puka.
No, let's give it a Coco because like it'll be good on the picture to be like, oh, they included a girl. You know?
I don't.
Yeah. Let's move on to the
Oh my
You're Still
God.
Playing award. This goes out to the athlete that no one had any idea that they were still playing. I'm going to go with the first one because I know
Yes,
yours.
this
and
one's
yours is the
wild.
winner. Let me just knock a few down. Everyone knows Joe Flacco's playing. But
Yeah.
the fact that, like, I had to show my father on Christmas Day that Christmas Eve that Joe Flacco was still playing, and he had to sit there in awe, being like, "This guy's slinging it." Shout out to Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
good
1,300
nominee.
yards and 10 touchdowns over 3 or 4 games. It's insane.
Jason Peters, his 42-year-old butt is still out there trying to make blocks on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Can't believe you're still playing. And Udonis Haslem, he did retire this year, but the fact that he played like 47 years on the Heat is so impressive that, like, if I got to give away the award, it would 100% go to this grandfather of a guy who probably played like 10 minutes his last year. But Udonis
He hung
Haslem,
around.
you're amazing. Don, who won it, though?
The one who won it, Jimmy Graham, is still in the NFL.
I forgot that he was a Saint.
Crazy part, 6 catches for 4 touchdowns this season.
That's crazy.
Like, he's just used for the Reds. That's the only reason I still remember he's around, is just occasionally you'll see, like, Saints touch Jimmy Graham?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jimmy
okay.
Graham.
Like, they just bring
got
him in
like
on
2
goal line
catches, 2
packages.
touchdowns, or something like that.
Yeah, like his longest catch of the season is 11 yards. He's
beautiful.
just a red zone guy.
Beautiful. Let's move on to our next award. It is the Rising Star Award. This goes to the young star that made a huge splash on the world today. Sports world. There's only one guy to me that changed sports this year, and that's Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. No, I think honorable mention to CJ Stroud there.
Yeah, I think CJ did good. I think if he doesn't get hurt or wins the division or makes the playoffs, sure. And I know people are gonna be like, but Victor hasn't done anything. The fact that everyone was able to learn this guy's name is indicative enough to show this guy's a star.
Like he was already pulling in jersey numbers, pulling in tickets, basically during the Las Vegas Summer League.
It's crazy.
Like, it was already set up that he was going to be a star.
We were watching all the Summer League games, but
we were.
that Victor Wembanyama game had a different pop because Chet Holmgren was there too.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing.
That was a good rivalry too.
Did you have anybody for this one?
CJ Stroud, and then biased pick, but Kyle Hamilton. This felt like his coming out year so far.
I like
and
that
multiple
pick,
time
too.
defensive player of the weeks. Like I think he'll be good.
I think Kyle Hamilton's already a top 3 safety in the league.
Yeah, by a lot of metrics, he's top 2.
I think so. Ellie De La Cruz, too, for the Cincinnati Reds. I know he slowed down at the end, but there was a point in the MLB season this year where we were like, this guy's electric. It was his coming out party, and I think he still has some more to show
Oh, he
for
does.
the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, his floor is insane right now.
He's so fast. I mean, I saw him live at the Dodger Stadium. I think he stole home or he stole second. He's insane. He's so fast in
Yeah.
person. Speed that I've really only seen on a football field. It's crazy.
Moves.
Rivalry of the year. This
So
one.
we both took weird avenues with this one.
Can I give you my honorable mentions before?
All
we
right,
go
let's
to
hear it.
My first one is LeBron versus books. Now, if you've been watching these LeBron interviews,
Oh,
you've
my
known
goodness.
LeBron's very well known for reading the first 5 pages of a book. People ask him how's the book, and he's like, "Oh, I just started it." He's never finished a book. And I love LeBron. This is LeBron slander. It's just LeBron. LeBron can read. I just don't think LeBron can read great. You know, it's fine. I've never read a book. Don doesn't know how to read, so we're good. My other one is knees versus MetLife Stadium.
Oh my god! yeah. No,
That's enough said.
That turf just destroys.
Just go watch like the Monday night Jets game, and you'll be like, "Oh, yep, that turf is bad."
yeah. No,
Yeah.
how they've not changed that at this point?
I don't know.
No, because okay. Have you seen the Real Madrid soccer stadium? How they do their turfing now?
You know I haven't. I don't
Okay,
watch kickball.
So what a lot of European major soccer stadiums are doing is they have one level that breaks off into individual platforms so they could slide underneath the grandstands.
Yeah.
And then bring in the actual playing from underground. And they
Sounds
just have
cool.
UV lights keeping the grass alive underground.
It's like the X-Men field where the jet comes out. over
Exactly,
there.
a little
so
bit,
cool.
but it's another field.
That's sick.
So they have their one for like
a
any
bad
media
magic
and
trick,
everything.
though.
It's a bad magic trick.
it's like
but,
pulling a hat out of a hat.
I mean, that'd still be pretty impressive.
Nah, I'd lose my
Like,
mind.
yeah,
if someone pulled a hat out of a hat.
That'd be actually really cool.
Who's the winner of this one?
Well, my pick is the NFL and the fans versus Dan Snyder.
Oh.
We finally got rid of him this year, everybody.
It was beautiful. All the Commander fans, and they don't have to call it the Commanders in about another year. They got rid of like the most Ebenezer Scrooge real life man I've ever seen.
No,
it's awesome.
He was despised. He was hated by basically not even just the Commander fans, but I think the NFL in a whole, the NFL as an organization, fans, players. I don't know if anyone who's ever said a good word about him. We could go into his legal issues, but that's not really for us
John
to speak too
Gruden
much.
really liked him.
Yeah,
There you go.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But if you guys don't know about Dan Snyder, I don't think we're qualified to talk about it too
No,
much.
we're not gonna talk about
but
it,
just
but,
search
yeah.
his name and you'll find every single thing that this guy has done and is facing legal repercussions for.
As he should. But
Yes.
I do have another wrench in there. I think this is the real winner.
Okay.
I think it's John Morant versus firearms is by far the best rivalry I've ever seen this year.
He nearly got himself out the league doing this.
And you know what's crazy? He came back after his 25-game suspension, and he did gun celebrations like Yosemite Sam. It was crazy. I was like,
this is funny. It's like, no, dude, stop.
he's like, you guys are laughing. His shoes are still selling out. His jersey's still selling out. You're still going to Memphis to watch the games. I watched him play basketball. I was like,
Yeah.
I have to watch this guy do it. So, like, I mean, what do we do? I think he's like, it was... The only thing I can compare it to is like when Johnny Manziel scored and he did like the money bags.
yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, this guy's just doing it. you
He's
know?
trolling at that point. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Let's move on to the next category in our award show. It is the How Do You Still Have a Job Award. This is for the person in sports that we're both like, huh?
How are you still around? How do you still linger?
How do you still have a job? Dom, who's your guy?
My biggest one that I'm taking this year, outside of the head coach of the Pistons, is Ron Rivera. I'm doubling up on the Commanders here. I'm surprised. Like, he ran Cam Newton into the ground, ran Carolina post Newton into the dirt.
Here's the thing. I think, one, I'm super biased. He's Hispanic. I have to root for the Hispanic coaches.
Yeah.
I hope he never gets fired. I hope he just, mutually walks away.
He should go be a coordinator.
But he's probably going to get fired.
He's most likely gone at the end of
He's
this
probably
year.
gone.
But how did he survive in the league this long?
Riverboat Ron was like a classic nickname for him because he was always just middle of the pack, just being able to figure it out and just get it done.
Yeah, well, and he was a gambler. That's why he's going
And
to take
it's-
the bold decision when other people wouldn't.
And it's just not.
But
it's
I
just-
think he's playing into it too much.
Yeah, I think it's just dead.
It's done.
I also have another head coach, but for college football. I
Okay.
have Iowa's head coach, Kirk Ferentz. This is a team, he's been the longest 10-year head coach in all of Division I football, all Power 5 football.
Yeah.
He's been there since 1999. He's ran an efficient program. What Iowa does, they play good, old-fashioned white defense. And that's, it's cool for a little bit, but, like...
It's not pretty to watch unless you're a defensive fan, but it gets results.
You're about to get Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and USC in your division, and you're going to have to play them every year. I'm going to tell you right now, your defense is not going to...
It's not going to survive the West Coast. Yeah,
correct.
It's like you're geared for the power run. You're geared for the play action, but that's about it.
This is another guy who signed a promise before the season started that he was going to do he was going to score a minimum of 24.5 points every game, and he averaged 16.5, which is very off the mark, almost 10 points off the mark.
Yeah.
Don't know how he still has a job. I get it. It's Iowa. I'm guessing there's not a huge band of great coaches that want to go coach at Iowa for long term.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of him. And I don't understand
There needs to be a shift if you're wanting to go and catch up to the Michigans.
I agree. This is the Best Bros Award. The Best Bros Award goes to the best guys in sports that were bros. They were having a good time.
Yeah.
They were the best together. Honorable mentions are Dio and Don, hosts of this podcast. Good buddies, really good buddies. Other ones are brothers, literal brothers, like Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce.
Which just have been a delight to watch on their podcasts, delight to watch in commercials.
But, they've started losing games.
Yeah.
We don't like losers on this show.
No. But also the Manning brothers, I think, are a decent honorable mention there. The Manning cast is always A1 every single week.
It's literally the Best Bros Award.
Yes.
They're the best bros. But they didn't win.
No.
Who won?
This one's more of a three-way winner.
Okay.
Mine being Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic.
Okay, that's a great...
Which I think is the best duo right now in basketball.
They're insane together.
Their stats have not really dropped from last season to this season, except for Murray missing a couple games.
This whole year it's been the Jokic Murray. Murray's finally healthy. They won a finals championship. They were dominant in the playoffs.
First duo to put up 30-point triple-doubles ever in NBA history, and they did it game 3 of the finals.
I agree with you.
Baller athletes.
I think we're just missing one more piece of the equation.
And that's what brings it all together.
I think the horses mean so much to Jokic. I think they're the best bros. It's really Jokic and the horses, and then Jamal Murray's also there.
He's the stilted lover who just finishes out the triangle.
Yeah, it's more of I guess you can hang out. You're the third wheel type of situation. But they're all best bros, and they get the Best Bros Award. Shout out to Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the horses that he races with, which is insane that he does that.
The fact that what are you going to do to celebrate your win, your NBA Finals championship? I'm going to go see my horses.
It's funny that we're talking about. My dad saw Jokic play for the first time on Christmas, and he's like, I was telling him, I was like, this is the best player in the NBA right now. And he's like, that guy? And I'm like, yeah, that guy. He's like, he looks so unathletic. He looks like a regular guy. And I was like, that's the whole allure.
That's what makes him more impressive.
He looks like a sour bag of milk just moving.
But he just cooks everybody.
Love it.
It's insane.
Let's move on to the Moving Out Award for the athlete, the coach, the team that moved away, changed their vibe, did something completely different, and we amend them for it. We were so happy for them for moving out. In fact, it was a better situation. Guys like Aaron Rodgers, guys like Damian Lillard.
Dame's a good move there.
Guys like Shohei Ohtani. And,
the Dodgers will actually go win something.
I just had to talk about the Dodgers.
No, I know you had to throw that in there. I was going to let you have it.
My winner, though, and I know this technically happened last year, but the breakout was this year. Mm-hmm. It's Jaden Daniels of LSU, quarterback for LSU. Heisman winner, electric quarterback, got himself probably into the first round. No one had a bigger breakout year. No one had a bigger movement from Arizona State to LSU and did what he did on the big stage. Quite like him. He's the award winner for me. Don, who's your guy?
For me, my big one, again, another guy that the breakout year is this year, even though he did move at the end of last season.
And he won a Super Bowl beforehand.
Tyreek Hill. I think his move is showing why he left the Chiefs in a big way right now. They are kind of a burning mess in a lot of ways, and Tyreek Hill's on pace to put up individual records that the league hasn't seen in decades. So it's great to see this guy. I think he's
going to break 2,000. And if it's not him, it's no one.
If he doesn't do it, it's nobody that's going to be able to do
insane.
It. And so I think he jumped out at the right time. This is obviously showing that he made the correct move out.
We're going to go into the worst pick of the year. This goes out to, we all have bad gambling days. We all give out picks that we're like, you text your friends, you're like, hey, this one's a lock. And they just get stomped, and it's never alive for a second. And I just wanted to go over a few of them for me. I personally handed out 3 futures in the NBA finals in the NBA playoffs before the finals started.
Yep.
They all lost in each division. It was the first round, I took the Cavs. Second round, I took the 76ers.
Yeah.
And the semifinals, I took the Lakers, culminating in me taking the Heat's future and them losing. So, Nuggets fans, you're welcome that I gave you that. Another one of my bad ones was, I'm just going to say this real quick, Ohio State +3 versus Michigan.
Yeah, that was ugly.
I gave that pick away. We're going to talk about that later. Don?
I think the worst pick of the year from anybody was anyone who took the Jets' future at the beginning of the season.
Don,
that was the coldest.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine sitting on your couch Monday, so excited, and you're like, dude, I just have them making the playoffs.
And you're excited for it because there's a great chance for it.
A nice plus 400 ticket. You're like, how can they not? I know the AFC's tough, but who's going to compete for the playoffs? The Colts? They're not getting in.
And then disaster immediately because MetLife is terrible.
I mean, maybe they should have won Best Rivalry of the Year. My other backup, I think that one wins. My backup is Raiders versus Chargers under, which I gave out 2 weeks ago, and it was the worst bet of my life. And I'm sorry that I did that to you people.
I mean, no one expected that from the Raiders. It was an ice cold pick,
Insane.
but like going into it, all the logic was there.
Absolutely insane. Let's go to the Almost Got It award.
Yep.
This goes to the team that didn't win a championship, but they're still pretty good.
Yeah,
Still a pretty good team. I have a couple honorable mentions. I want to talk about the 2022-2023 San Francisco 49ers.
Very strong team. Very, very strong team.
Great team. Some people say they probably would have won the championship last year, the NFL Lombardi Trophy, if it wasn't for Brock Purdy just dying on the field.
Yeah, no, that team was riddled with injuries all year long.
It's crazy.
And Purdy just got messed up.
Maybe they have their shot to redeem themselves this year.
It's possible.
We'll
it's
see.
possible.
Don, who's yours?
Mine, the Boston Bruins.
Love it. Get some hockey in there.
Yeah, get some hockey in there. They went for a record-setting NHL record, 65 wins, highest win record ever. They also set a new record in longest home game winning streak of 14 games straight.
That's fire.
And set a new NHL record of most standing points in NHL history with 135 points scored. Had a score differential of plus 128. Second place, the Dallas Stars was 67.
That's
they nearly doubled,
insane.
only to get bounced in the first round in Game 7 in overtime.
Yeah, that's
on paper the best team
that's the winner.
to just choke it.
Absolutely the winner.
Yeah.
I have some other runner-ups out the 2023 Dodgers. We
Stacked roster.
Not as stacked as
lined
they
up.
are this year, but we're
At the time, they
very
were.
disappointing. For me, I think the runner-up 2023 Suns. That's a team that everyone was like, we got to be worried about the Suns. DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, Booker, Kevin Durant. This team's broken. This team's broken.
And just couldn't. It just didn't gel.
Didn't work.
mesh.
Didn't work out. I know they ran into the Nuggets, but what are we doing here?
Yeah, with that much star power,
Yeah.
you think they push through.
But good pick, Don. Bruins. You win a bust. Golden moment of the year. We're nearing the final big trophies here. The golden moment of the year goes to the moment in sports that we're going to look back in 2023 and be like, that was a insane moment.
Yes.
Don, what's yours?
Mine, I think, falls into the honorable mention category. I chose March Madness, specifically FDU upsetting Purdue.
Insane
16
moment.
upsetting in one. But overall, just that March Madness, it felt like a moment in time, just seeing like not a single first round or number one pick getting into the Elite Eight, seeing a 4-5 seed compete for the championship, seeing Florida Atlantic, number 9, make a run to the Final Four.
San Diego State.
Yeah, it was
insane.
Just great to watch.
March Madness this year, I took all the days off and I just sat there and I was watching it in my living room, watching every single game, and it was the first time I ever watched March Madness, and I was like, I love this more than anything. I love it more than any other sporting event ever, and I can't wait to dive more into it this year. I love it, and
this
I've
was
watched
the best year for it.
I've watched it in years prior, but I had a UConn future, and it was the first time I've ever was like, "Oh, UConn's gonna win this," and then me being right.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. It's funny because honorable mention for me is UConn basketball. Another one for me is the Dodgers sweeping the offseason is like a big moment that people are going to look back in like December in a few years and be like, that was the year they got all those just dogs on their team.
Loaded up with weapons.
Another one for me is the Army versus Navy over. I know I went to a pick, but for the first time it hitting in 8 years,
That's a big
third
moment.
time in 20, I'm like, that's a forever gambling moment. They hit the over.
Yeah.
Something I've been betting for 5 years. I finally got it. Let's go.
No, it was a great time to watch that.
There's one moment that when I'm going to go back and say that was sports for me in 2023,
I swear, if you say the in-season tournament,
it's a moment that makes I play it on my TV. I go to sleep to it sometimes. I'm
Okay.
not even a fan of this sport. Watching WrestleMania this year was one of the most electric. I didn't know the plot lines. You're a big wrestling fan. You were
yes, I
sitting
am.
there explaining it to me. There was a moment where guys were coming out of the arena. I mean, the Rey Mysterio fight was insane. There was a tag team match that I almost cried just watching the intro. The finals, I know the finals is like not everyone's most desirable thing, but like watching Roman Reigns and
Cody Rhodes
smash into each other for like an hour was bananas.
yes.
I'm not a wrestling fan, but if there was a time to get into wrestling, it was when I jumped in on it. I love it. That was amazing.
Absolutely great.
that's my
great
moment.
time. Great
That's my
moment.
moment of
Yes.
2023.
No, I could see why.
Yeah.
Well, and that was our first ever time really watching a wrestling pay-per-view together.
It was just a lot.
It is
felt
a lot. It's a 2-day event. It's massive.
It was just a lot because we had watched like Hell in the Cell or not Hell in the Cell, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like the weeks before or like the month before that.
Yep.
And then watching that was just like a lot, and it was fun, and it felt like cinematic, and it was just when I go back in 2023, WrestleMania is going to be a big thing for me.
Yeah, that was.
Let's go to the biggest villain of the year award.
Okay.
This one's self-explanatory. This is for the guy that caused the most trouble this year.
Yeah.
We already gave John Morant an award, but he's a great honorable mention.
Yes, he is. That's a solid one.
I don't
think-
personally agree. I'm going to give this one.
Sure.
Draymond Green is like an honorable mention for me.
He has to be. I was going to say Patrick Beverly in that category as well, but that's their role. That's what they embrace.
I love Pat Bev.
Oh no, without a
love
doubt. But like they embrace that
also love
role of being
Draymond.
the villain.
Yeah. Well, who's your selection?
Mine, I'm putting Max Verstappen. I know, like when I went to the F1 race in Vegas, he's not the most beloved guy all the time. I mean,
he can be much.
He could be a little bit much. His run of dominance turns off some fans, as well as just he is kind of a diva at times. But
when you win
he's-
like that, baby.
yeah, when you
can
win
be-
like that, he's a guy that's enjoyable to hate.
Yeah. My winner,
Yes,
Is
which I think is the better option here.
I picked Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Yes, Russell Wilson is the villain of the year. There
Without
has
a doubt.
never been a catastrophic fall, and today we got the news that Russell Wilson is being benched. But like,
And then possibly cut in March.
he not possibly. The fact that it's already getting leaked right now in December is just 100%. They're moving off him. They're going to eat the cap, and they're just going to build something else. That's fine.
Makes sense.
The amount of hate that Russell Wilson has gotten, I'm usually the guy who's like the contrarian. I'm not going to follow what the trends say. I 100% agree. Now, have I been a
Yes.
Russell Wilson hater since 2012? 100%. He's on the hate list. I'm happy everyone's on board. Welcome to the train. He just got the biggest villain of the year award, and
Yeah.
he's finally going to get fired. Let's go.
I think is the fact that they started getting a win streak and then finally gave
Yeah.
Denver hope just to dash it at the end.
Yeah.
Just builds that up even more.
The biggest villain. Just the biggest villain.
Yeah, that's hard. That's it was rough to watch.
It's time for the most coveted award of our show. It's the bust of the year. The biggest guy who busted the hardest.
Yes.
Don, who's your sports bust of the year?
It's someone we've talked about on the show a good amount.
Mine too.
Yours too. But someone that I have a personal vendetta against. I'm not even a fan of the team, but Arthur Smith is, in my opinion, the worst head coach in the NFL. Should be fired. Should not be allowed near the sport ever again.
Don, he broke my dreams last week.
Oh, he broke everyone's dreams.
He's the worst.
It finally chooses to use Bijan and Kyle Pitts for the
Dude,
second
Kyle
time
Pitts
this
scored on
season.
me, and I was like, we're losing.
For the second time this season, he's like, "Oh, we have weapons. Let's actually use them and not bring out Cordell Patterson again." So what are you
goes to
doing, you
Cordell's
weird
getting yards.
man?
I was like, this is all bad. This is all bad. We're losing the curses. I'm not.
No,
doing
it's
No.
rough. I don't know how he has a job still. In the fact that the ownership's like, we'll evaluate at the end of the year. It's like, no, get him out now.
Honorable mention of Luka Doncic. Some people would say he's the MVP candidate for this year. I would say, shut up. I hate him, and he busted. Did he win a championship? I know championships aren't everything, but that's what my only defense for Luka at this point.
That's the only thing you could target on the man.
But he's not my bust of the year. My bust of the year should come as no surprise. It's Ryan Day.
Yeah.
There was no one that dropped the ball hotter and faster and more elegantly than you. The fact that you continue to show the fans of Ohio State football hope every year only to get it dashed and trampled on consistently every single time and me fall for it every single time should be a shame on me, but it's such a shame on you.
That he still has a job right now. The people still fall and believe in him.
The thing is, I get why he has a job. He wins every game except Michigan. It makes sense that he's going to keep his job. But that's why it's so annoying. Ryan Day is the bust of the year because he cannot do it when I need him to do it. And I'm not even an Ohio State fan. I just really like watching those uniforms play in important games. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. I like the uniforms. Uniforms mean a lot to me.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
I don't know, Don. Do you think I'm being too mean to Ryan Day?
No, I mean,
That's right, Don. No, I'm not. I should be meaner. I'm going to start cyberbullying him. Yeah.
I walked into that one. That's on me. That's on me.
Yeah, I Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Do you remember?
You did. Yeah.
Let's move on to Gambling Ring. We're going to go through all the major games this week. Guys, we're going to start with the Jets versus Browns Thursday night football.
Yep.
Don, why do I love the Jets?
Dude, this game's going to be disgusting.
Don, why do I love the Jets?
I don't know, because Stidham is starting.
She's like, Stidham's starting?
Oh, yeah, Zach Wilson's still gone.
I think Stidham's starting for the
Broncos.
Broncos.
For the Broncos. Simeon.
Dude, same guy.
Same guy.
Same dude.
Same guy.
I think there's like 7 cloned backup quarterbacks that just jump from roster to roster to roster to roster. It's kind of beautiful.
A little bit.
Yeah, they all have each other's number. They all own a book club together. They all don't have CTE because they don't play. It's beautiful. I love the Jets. Plus 7.5. I don't think the Jets are going to win.
No, I don't think they're going to pull one out
But the Browns aren't going to win their division.
Yeah.
The Browns really don't have anything to play for now that they clinched playoffs. They're pretty much locked in for that seed. They're going to play whoever wins the AFC South.
Well, I think they don't have it 100%.
They don't, but like
they have like a 95% chance.
It's pretty much there. And I think, the Jets defense is pretty good, and it's time for Joe Flacco to come back to down to earth a little bit, right?
You would think. I think this is going to be a messy game. Both
Yeah,
defenses are just so elite.
Who do you have? What do you have?
For me, I'm taking Kareem Hunt, longest carry under 9.5 yards. He has been so inefficient on the ground. For yards after contact, he ranks 72nd out of 79 running backs who are eligible for the stat, meaning they've gotten over 20 carries. He has only had 5 carries over 10 yards all season long. Jets, 7th lowest explosive rush rate, and they are 10th in the league in stuff rate, meaning just stuffing at the line of scrimmage.
Just smash you.
Yeah, and plus the Browns, because Flacco's come in, very pass-forward offense. They are a pass-heavy offense, which limits carries overall. I just don't see Kareem Hunt getting that line.
I know we're not doing Gold Star of the Week, but I think we'd both give it to Amari Cooper, right?
Oh, you have to. He
was insane. I like what the Browns are doing. I hate what the Jets are doing. but everything in my skin is telling me this is a Jets game, baby. This is
This
where they
feels
win.
like a 3-point game.
We start getting a little bit more rumors of Aaron Rodgers because they're like, maybe the last game, something, maybe just see him play on the field or something. I don't care. I
Doesn't
love
matter.
the Jets. I love the Jets. Give me the Jets. Let's move on to the Saturday
Sure.
night game. Oh, did you have another bet?
No, go ahead.
Lions versus Cowboys. Cowboys.
Big NFC implications for the seeding.
This is huge.
This is a massive game.
If the Cowboys can win out and the Eagles lose one game, I think they win the division, right?
Yeah,
I
they
think that's
took
what it
over.
is.
Yeah, they take over the division here.
On top of that-
this game replaces the Monday night game because there's not going to be a
No
Monday night
Monday night
football
game,
game.
correct.
Yeah, so they're doing Saturday night instead.
Lions are also kind of trying to get out of that seeding where they don't want to play like the Rams because the Rams are kind of feisty.
Rams are hot right now.
And
Yeah,
a Goff, even though the Goff, Stafford, Rams, like
be
Lions
such a good
game would be
matchup.
electric. But like, if you're the Lions, you want to win at least one playoff game this year. That feels like the most. Oops, I stepped in the rat trap like ever.
yeah. No one wants to face the Rams in the wild card.
No one. Not only that, but like to play the guy that you traded for that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and
there's
you're
just
like,
too much emotion built in.
and you're all up, and you're like, oh, it's his return to Detroit, and watch him just dash your entire playoff hopes. That's not what they want. So they
No.
want to win this game. I love the Lions +6. I know it's the most publicly bet game of the week.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna fall right for it. I 6 points is Vegas telling you like, hey, the Cowboys are gonna win this.
I think Cowboys win this. For me, I'm taking Tony Pollard under 55.5 rushing yards in this game. Pollard, he's gone under 55.5 8 out of 10 games this season. Then 8 out of 11 games when he has 15 carries or fewer. Vegas rushing line right now for him is at 14.5 carries.
I like that.
So it looks like they're going to just like Vegas is already predicting that he's going to be under on carries. Lions shut down the run. They rank 6th in the last 6 games. 5th in expected averages, 8th in yards per carry allow, and 4th in stuff rate. Dallas, they're a really good passing team.
Very good
They
passing.
had their 5th best pass rate above expectation, and the Lions give up the 5th best catch rate, like percentage. So to
Yeah.
me, this is going to be a pass-heavy game for the Cowboys. This is going to be on Dak's arm. They're not going to run the ball much.
You've been very good about the Detroit Lions pass defense, and I've faded you a couple times, and I've grown wiser, and that's why I'm also going to bet a CeeDee Lamb touchdown.
That's a great line.
I
That's a
love
great
it.
one.
It's plus money for like the first time in a long time, and it's only
Yeah.
like plus 120. But like,
That's
I'll
a
take
lock.
it. I'll take it.
It
I'll
feels
take it.
like a
I'll
lock
take
to
it. I'm going to move on to the Raiders versus Colts game, a game that last week I didn't think meant that much.
Now it has huge implications.
It's everything. The Raiders have a playoff chance.
Yeah, the Raiders win out, and the Raiders win out.
Raiders
They
can
have a
win
shot
out.
at it.
Yeah, and the Colts lose out, they can get in.
Yep.
And the Colts play Texans next week with a possible C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
There's a chance that this curse is in full effect. The Colts lose 3 straight games.
You can't tilt. You can't tilt at the end
I'm
of the year.
tilting.
You
I'm
can't-
tilting. I'm tilting.
You
I'm
can't
tilting.
tilt.
Okay, I won't tilt. But here's what I will say: if the Colts do lose, I'll cry. I'll cry live on camera. I will cry.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
They lost on Christmas Eve, and it ruined my day. I had to go to sleep. I
No,
looked at
no,
you.
yeah.
I had shit to do. I was like, I can't do this.
No,
I go-
it was a rough one.
I had to go lay in bed. I was like, I have a headache. It ruined my anyway, and it ruined our parlay. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a rough one to have. For me, I'm taking the under 44.5 in this game.
Don, no.
No, it's just because both offenses are very inconsistent at the moment.
Don, read what I have under Colts.
So we're going head to head. Okay, that's fine.
I have over 43.5, and I booked.
Okay.
I hit it immediately.
No, I like the under a lot in this one. It's just, to me, Raiders were able to win last week without scoring a single offensive touchdown. It was just field goals. Colts, since Pittman's been out and he hasn't practiced this week so far.
But he almost played last week.
Almost played last week, still has yet to log a full practice this week. I'm worried about his concussion. If he's active, I start to worry about this line. But if he is out,
I think he's playing.
I just don't know how confident I am in either of these teams to score.
I think he's playing. I understand that the Colts offense is dead without Michael Pittman, but I think that was just
Yeah.
a bad spot. I think the Falcons are built exactly how the Colts can't play, which is why I'm like, the
Yeah.
flashy teams that have like the ability to give it to multiple weapons are the teams that I'm afraid to play against the Colt. Like that's bad matchups.
The
for the Colts.
Colts are running a similar thing to the Patriots, where we can shut down your best guy.
Correct. But if you have multiple best guys,
then it gets rough.
Then it gets tough. So that's why I don't want to play the Dolphins. I do want to play teams like the Chiefs. I do want to play teams like the Jags again. I do want to play teams like the Bills. Like, those are teams that I'm like, all right, I think we can beat those guys. Like,
yes.
But if we have to play in Miami, dead.
It's going to be a rough one.
Dead. I think Pittman's back. I think this over is a massive banger. I think Raiders can score against a terrible defense that the Colts have.
Yeah.
Their secondary is still bad. I know they've gotten better.
No, with Blackman still out, it's a rough spot there.
It's going to be tough. We're starting a rookie, Nick Cross, who's like been inconsistent. I really, he's shown me flashes, but like not enough for me to be like, all right, he's going to make the secondary better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to, I swiped all the way up, to the Dolphins versus Ravens game. Donnie?
This game, I'm going in same as last week. Cold sweats. This is going to be gross.
Be a man. Be happy. Last week, I was the one stomping my foot on the ground telling you the Niners had no chance. And guess what happened?
No, we did well. No one expected Purdy to throw 4 interceptions, though. That was just...
I did.
You would have bet 4 interceptions.
I would have bet 7.
Oh my gosh!
I like Brock Purdy. I got in like a Twitter thing.
Yeah, no, he's a competent quarterback. He is good.
I think, and stop me if I'm wrong. It's okay if Brock Purdy has a bad game. It's okay if a second year, last pick of the draft quarterback struggles once in a while.
Yeah, I mean that every quarterback has a bad game.
How come every quarterback in the first 2 years gets at least one grace period or a few grace games where they're like, hey, he's still learning the ropes? But Brock Purdy has one bad game and everyone's like, this guy can't play. What are we talking about? And I get it. He was in the MVP discussion, but he played the best defense in football.
Yeah.
He was going to struggle.
And outgained, like the 49ers total yards, outgained the Ravens total yards.
Yeah.
Like that is a big thing that everyone's been pointing out as well. It's like and 2 of those interceptions were not his fault. They were bounce off somebody else, pop up in the air. Those were not on him.
Correct.
We got lucky because we got ball hawks.
Dolphins.
For me, I'm taking Justice Hill under 35.5 rushing yards. Another under.
Pretty big line for him.
That's a big line for him. It makes me like, I don't know why his line is inflated in this manner.
Is that total yards?
That's just his rushing yard line at the moment.
Because he is the backup back.
I know that,
but like he gets passing work.
He gets a lot more passing work. He's better as a passing back. Dolphins this year.
He's better on the bench.
I mean, yeah. Ideally.
But
Dolphins this year against the run, 3rd best success rate, and 4th in yards per carry over the last 6 weeks. Justice Hill, 29th in yards over expected out of the 30 running backs with 10 plus carries last week. He's only averaging right now on the season 7 carries and 30.5 yards a game. But last week against a very tough rush defense in the 49ers, 2.6 yards a carry.
No bueno.
I put the Dolphins' their rushing defense in the same category as the 49ers in the last few weeks. I don't know how he gets to 30 yards. Much less 35.
I agree with you. I think the Dolphins
defense has been playing out their mind.
Since Jalen Ramsey's come back, they're a different team.
Ramsey gave them a lot of freedom.
This is the best. This is the game for the 1 seed. Yes. This is the game for dominance through the AFC. These are 2 teams that need a win bad.
Yes, both of them have to win this game.
I'm taking the Ravens minus 3.5. I love the Ravens. I think they're the hottest team in the league right now. A lot of people are talking about Lamar winning MVP but not putting up MVP stats. I think MVP is more than just putting up crazy numbers. I think MVP is about how you lead a team, how you show professionalism in a team. Mm-hmm. Lamar has done everything this year that he could possibly do to win games.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about
it. And that is one thing I enjoy about watching the Ravens is we don't win the games one way, and it's a lot of adaptability by the offense and by the defense as well. But it's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of changes on the fly adjustments, and it's worked well, and he's been able to guide the ship well through that.
My brother told me something that it didn't click in my head until he said it. He goes, I think the Ravens are one of the most boring teams to watch this year.
Yes.
And he's so right. And that's so crazy to be like, Zay Flowers is one of the most explosive young rookies we got. And Lamar, I mean, everyone knows Lamar. And like Gus Edwards, all he does is score touchdowns. And Odell Beckham's on the offense. How is this a boring offense and team to watch, and they are the most boring, flashy team I've ever seen.
Because they're just consistent.
They're just consistent.
They don't have the big highlight play all the time. They're not making the insane, like Odell's not doing the one-handed catch down the sideline. It's
I mean,
just
he's been burning people.
he's been burning
He's
people,
been
but
doing
it's
some
just
dirtiness.
consistency.
Let's move on to the Steelers and Seahawks game. This is two teams fighting to get in the playoffs. If the Steelers lose this, this is not going to have a positive winning season on their on the resume. If the Seahawks lose this, they could be out of the playoff contention right now. They're in the 7th seed.
No, this game means a lot to everybody.
I have a future on the Seahawks. I have two futures:
Sure.
Ravens, Seahawks. This is
Go
for the
Birds.
best interest of me. I think the Steelers are dead because of my proclamation last week.
Yeah.
I know Rudolph looks like an elite receiver or elite quarterback out of nowhere. I still like the Seahawks. Give me the Seahawks minus 2.5, 3.5.
No, I like the Seahawks a lot in this one. I'm taking the under 41 in this game. I know Rudolph had his game, but the Steelers basically they still struggle at scoring. They got away with some last week, but if you look,
the Pickens game.
it was just Pickens.
It was just the Pickens game.
Not a single receiver was able to go over 10 yards on average per catch,
what I'm saying.
except for Pickens last week. Seattle hasn't hit an over in basically 8 of the last 21 games. Steelers haven't hit an over in 7 of the except for 7 in the last 20.
They hate overs.
They hate overs.
If they hit it over, they're mad. Even if they won the game, they're like, man, I can't believe we scored. They hate that stuff.
Weird one. Steelers haven't won at home, or again, Steelers have not won in Seattle in I think like 8 or 10 games straight. Like they just do not travel to Seattle well. Seattle knows how to buckle down.
That's a great stadium.
Yeah. It's a tough stadium to go into.
Yeah.
Also, Seattle, if they're coming off of a disadvantage in terms of days of rest, because Seattle had the Sunday game, Steelers had the Saturday game. Seattle in the season, if they have less rest than the opponent, somehow undefeated. That's a 4-0.
It's a fantastic stat.
That's a weird stat that
fantastic
I was
stat.
able to dig out. But yeah, Pete Carroll knows how to turn it around in a short week.
We're going to move into the last game of the gambling ring. We're going to move into the Packers versus Vikings Sunday night football. I don't know. I don't know how this became the primetime game. I don't know how this wasn't flexed out. I feel like they're doing a bad job.
This makes sense for a rivalry game. On paper, at the beginning of this season, both teams had a lot of hope. So it made sense on why it was originally scheduled here. It should have been flexed out.
Could you imagine watching the Dolphins game right now at that time?
On Sunday night, it
Would've
makes
been
more
crazy.
sense.
But
It
they
makes
can't
more
give-
sense than
I
the
know.
afternoon slot.
Can't give Ravens back-to-back prime times.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Too many people will like Lamar after that. I don't have much for this. I think the Vikings are dead. I think Nick Mullins had like negative passing yards until the fourth quarter,
Vikings have yet to announce who their starting quarterback is this week.
as they probably should.
Yeah, they're still debating between a bunch of guys,
I think-
between all three of their
I
guys.
think the Packers are just trying to scratch and claw and get into the playoffs. I don't really care. I don't like both these offenses. Give me the under minus 46.5.
Sure. For me, I'm taking Jalen Reed over 55 total yards. Christian Watson still not practicing for the team. Wicks did not practice today as well. They're going to have to funnel the ball somewhere. Reed gets it done.
Jaden Reed's pretty good.
He really is.
Jaden Reed's pretty good.
He's hit over 50 total yards, 5 of the last 6. The official line has not come out for this game yet on a lot of the player props because it is the Sunday night game. I would bet it up to 55. Anything under 55 I feel is a lock. 55 is where I start worrying about the line.
I like Jaden Reed touchdown this week.
That's
I like Jaden
that's
Reed
another
touchdown a
really
lot.
good one.
Let's move on to predict the future college football bowl edition.
Yep.
We're going to give you guys a quick summary of what we like this week in the bowl extravaganza that is this weekend. New Year's Six bowls, and we're going to start with Ohio State versus Missouri. Ohio State, like I said earlier, they win all their games except Michigan.
Typically.
So it would be idiotic to not bet Ohio State, right?
Are you running Missouri?
I'm running Missouri.
I'm running Missouri.
I'm running Missouri.
I'm running Missouri.
We're running Missouri.
We're running Missouri.
Missouri's the bet. It's plus 2.5. I love Missouri in this game because Kyle McCord is gone.
Yes.
Now they're going to flex a new Ohio State quarterback. Can I be honest? I don't care.
Kyle McCord wasn't that great to begin with for Ohio State. He was competent. He was good.
yeah.
But he didn't wow me. The fact that he had the starting job and now it's his backup coming in, not worried about it.
Yeah.
Top receiver, also gone.
Who's their top receiver again?
Not Marvin
Some
Harrison.
dude?
No, it's just I forget their number two.
It's Marvin Harrison and that guy Aboze.
Yeah, who's leaving to Penn State through the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr. still has not announced whether or not he's playing in this game.
He's
going
gonna
to travel with the team.
He's not going to play in the game. He's he's leaving Ohio State.
Yeah, he's most likely going to go for the draft. He has been on the stationary bike for the last 4 practices during when the team practices. He's just sitting on the sideline. We still have yet to hear from Trayvon Henderson and JT Tumule. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation.
You're doing your best. You're doing your best.
But all 3 of their big star players otherwise have yet to announce whether or not they're going to be playing this game.
They're not playing.
The fact that it's this close to the game, we're 3 days away.
A few days away.
Makes me worry if they're actually going to get the start there. Missouri, on the other hand, a couple key defensive players out. I think they're missing 3-4 who have announced they're not going to play. Otherwise, beyond 3-4 defensive players, their entire starting offense is going to be playing,
I've been
and
betting,
almost their entire starting defense will be playing.
I've been betting on Missouri all year. They've done pretty good for me.
Yeah.
I love what this team is doing. It means so much for them to win a game against Ohio State. This is a team that they'll talk about in Missouri football for many years to come if they can finish this off. And plus, I can't trust Ryan Day anymore.
No.
So
I really can't. And so Missouri ran out the spreads at 1. Are you taking them full upset, or are you?
I have them at 2.5.
You're
So I'm taking
them
plus 2.5.
I'm taking them for the full upset.
I'll take the full upset too.
Yeah,
I love it.
At that point, it's just 2.5 doesn't mean much to me.
I'm going to the next game. It is Ole Miss versus Penn State.
Peach Bowl,
which is usually a playoff game.
typically. But
Ole Miss does not travel far. It's still in the South.
Mhm.
Penn State does have to travel far. They've had a month off.
Yeah.
They've lost a couple of recruiting things, but they've also gained stuff. I really like Penn State.
I do too. Drew Aller there, 23 touchdowns to 1 interception on the entire season.
Pretty good quarterback.
As a sophomore, he doesn't make mistakes.
I think next year is going to be an insane year for Drew Aller.
Yeah.
And if he can do what he did this year, maybe a little more, take the next step up, we're going to talk about him being a possible quarterback in the NFL next year.
No, I completely agree there. I like Penn State in this game a lot. I'm taking a -4.
I'm taking a 4.5.
There we go. Penn State 15-3-1 against the spread in their last 20 games, or in the last 19 games. They've won 8 straight December games. So in their last 8 December games, they've cleaned house there. Also on the other side, Ole Miss, I think they're suspect. They've only played 2 top 15 teams all season, lost them both by 20 points.
Yeah, I don't think
they've
this
gotten
is
blown out when they play a top team.
Now, Jackson Dart is playing for Ole Miss.
Yes.
He's trying to get some looks in the NFL. This could be him trying to just sling it. I like it when quarterbacks do this, and I like to bet on quarterbacks that do this in the bowl season. I'm not doing it this year.
No, it doesn't feel like a confident matchup.
Give me
for
the
him.
Penn State. Give me the Penn State Nittany Lions. I'm going Georgia versus Florida State.
Yeah,
I love
Orange Bowl.
Georgia.
Orange
This
Bowl.
means so much to the institution of the NCAA and college football, and I love Georgia money line. I love it. Spread though,
12.
I have them at 19.5.
Their original line when they came out was 12.
It's at 19.5 right
It's
now.
jumped up to 19.5 because Florida State quarterback Tate Rodemaker announced he is not going to be playing.
Correct.
He is jumping into the transfer portal.
Yeah.
It's going to be their third string quarterback Glenn, who did win the ACC championship for them.
Correct.
Did competent in that. I don't care. I still like Georgia. And
You like Georgia with the money.
I like Georgia with the money line, and I like him a little bit on the spread. I'm not gonna.
All right, let's just do both. I was only going to do Florida State because I thought you were going to do Florida State.
I want to do Florida State. I've been vouching for Florida State. I don't trust a third string quarterback to play against Georgia.
I'm locked in. Georgia. Georgia. I'll take that line at 22.5 now. That's all I needed. I just needed a red herring for me to be like, all right, it's Georgia. It's Bulldog season, baby. That's all I needed.
They're both these teams are going to come out fired up without a doubt because they both have a lot to prove at the moment. I just think Georgia's the better team if you're playing a third string quarterback in a nationally televised game.
Yeah, those Georgia Bulldogs are going to kill that quarterback.
Yeah, Glenn is just not a good spot there.
Let's move on to the first playoff game. We're going to cover Alabama, Michigan. I did take an Alabama future.
Yep.
Sue me. I think they're going to win the national championship because it's the most boring thing that could happen. It's the most normal thing that would probably happen before the 12-team playoff. Saying that, Michigan is good.
Yes.
They're a complete team, probably the most complete team. I have a strict rule.
Sure.
When Nick Saban is an underdog, you bet it. And that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Alabama plus 1.5.
I'm taking Michigan minus 1.5.
You weak-minded son of a gun.
No, it's to me. I'm just Michigan has had too many good wins this season. Like Iowa,
Like who?
They beat Iowa 23-0, which is impressive considering Iowa only plays defense. Beat Ohio State, beat Penn State. They've gotten really good wins, and all
That's
three
it. You named all 3 of their wins.
all 3 of their wins banged up secondary. Like their team had at least 3 starters injured in all 3 games.
Yeah.
Harbaugh not on the sideline.
Harbaugh coached the Iowa game.
He was not allowed on the sideline for that game.
I thought he was coaching. All right. Well,
Because that was the last regular season game.
no, it wasn't.
Or it
regular.
was the
Conference.
championship game, but for the conference. But now they're back. Harbaugh's allowed to go and be there and actually coach. Rah rah. I like Harbaugh in this one. I think Michigan, this is their time to shine and give a goodbye
If
present
Nick
to
Saban
Harbaugh.
was standing right here in this room, you would look him in the eyes and say, "You're not going to win that game."
I'm going to say you have an uphill battle, and I don't like it. I don't like the odds on him.
Because if Jim Harbaugh was there, I'd look him dead in the eyes and I'd be like, "Thanks for giving me Andrew Luck." And then the next thing I would tell him was Michigan's going to lose this weekend. And that sucks because I do like Michigan. I think they're good for the sport.
Yeah, they are.
But watching them lose would be so sweet to Alabama.
I mean, it's just it feels like there's too much confidence in Alabama. Everyone has that swagger for them in playoffs.
Washington versus Texas. I have Washington plus 4.5. I like them. I have to root
Yeah.
for the Pac-12 since it's dying. It would be ironic that the only time the Pac-12 wins is when right before they die.
That sounds about right.
Texas is a team that I'm like, I can't trust you until you show me you're back.
Yeah,
This is a I'm back game for Texas.
this is a prove it game for them. I'm taking Washington money line. Actually, I'm just taking the full
I
upset.
like it.
To me, and it comes down to look like Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah.
revelation for this team.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Huskies offense averaging 343 air yards per game. Texas defense 96th ranked pass defense. They let the ball get through. They have no secondary whatsoever. This is going to turn into a shooting match or a shootout.
Yeah.
If Texas, who already their quarterback has gone down and missed a couple games, he's gone down to injury quite a bit this season, I feel.
Okay.
Quinn Evans.
Yeah.
Or
Quinn
Ewers.
Ewers.
Ewers. Guess who's missing off this team and enter the transfer portal for Texas right now?
Does his name rhyme with Karchi Danning?
Yes.
Yes.
But also backup quarterback Malik Murphy.
Yeah, he's gone too.
He's gone too. If Ewers misses any time whatsoever in this game, which Washington does hit hard when they get to the quarterback,
Yeah.
Arch Manning has to come out and make the start. First time ever as a freshman.
I would love that.
I'd be sweating if I were Texas, if that were the situation.
That'd be electric, though.
Oh, it would be great for the
To see
storyline.
Archie Manning, the second game that we get to watch him play. It's an important playoff game.
It'd be great to see. I still like Washington too much there. There's too many variables that if anything goes wrong for Texas in this game, it's a loss automatic. It's going to be an uphill fight. It's not going to be pretty for them. I'm bowing out. I'm just taking Washington. I think they're the hotter team.
Okay. I'm taking Washington too. Money line also.
There we go.
Little tease for the parlay later. Let's go into pick six. This is how we're going to end the show today.
All right.
Pick six. I'm going to rattle off my first few real quick.
Sure.
I'm going to go Cardinals versus Eagles over at 48. I'll take it all the way up to 50. I love this game. I like how both defenses suck. I like how both quarterbacks have something to prove this week. Both offenses need points bad. The Cardinals aren't really playing for much, but Kyler Murray kind of is.
Yeah, he's trying for a contract.
Not for a contract, but playing to keep his job.
Yeah,
He wants to
essentially.
stay in Arizona. And Jalen Hurts and the Eagles want to show that, hey, we have momentum and we don't want to lose this division. And I love the over.
I'm also taking this game, but I'm taking Eagles minus 10.5.
Okay.
Arizona has only covered 3 of their last 12 this season. Hollywood Brown still looking to be out this year. I don't think he
think
returns
he's not
for
playing
the
for
end
the
of the
rest of the year,
season. Yeah, he's out. Arizona defense last in run defense on the season
Bad.
and dead last in third down defense on the season. Eagles are going to have their way with them.
Now, something just popped in my head.
Yes.
The Cardinals head coach was the Eagles defensive coordinator. Do you think that has anything to do with this game?
It doesn't really worry me too much. I don't think it's going to be a big Hurts game. You're not going to like scheme for it.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Swift and Gainwell are just going to devour.
I like it. I'm taking the Chiefs -7. I kind of love the Chiefs.
I'm riding with you on that one
Let's
too.
go, Donnie.
Let's go on that. Let's go.
So then talk about it.
For me, it's just the Chiefs. Their biggest strength, Travis Kelce. That's the only competent guy on the offense. Good thing Bengals are one of the worst teams at covering the tight end.
Rashee Rice is okay.
Rashee Rice is good. Pacheco's out. It's going to be Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the start for the Chiefs this week. And we saw it last time he got the start. He scored a touchdown. He's not explosive, but he's a good receiving back. Bengals this season struggle covering tight ends. They're going to be without Jamar Chase again this season. And we saw what happened against the Steelers. T. Higgins was able to perform well, but they struggle on offense a lot. I think the Chiefs' pass defense is stronger than the Steelers' pass defense at the moment. This is going to be a tough game for Browning.
I think when Browning has to be a starting quarterback, which it's not his fault. This is how most quarterbacks when their backups are. If they're off the script, it turns bad real fast.
It does.
We've seen it with Gardner. We've seen it with Browning. We've seen it with many quarterbacks. It just, when the script comes off, it's hard for them to improvise. Yeah. And it's tough. I'm going to go on to my next game. It is the 49ers Commanders over at 49.5. I love what both these offenses can do. I know, back-to-back overs, Dio. What are you doing? But I love what the Niners are going to show. Brock Purdy has to show the world that he's like, that was just one bad game. Watch me light up the worst defense in football.
Yeah, fortunately, the injury that took him out to bring Sam Darnold in was only a stinger. He's going to be cleared for this week.
The Commanders are fighting for jobs right now. They are. Whether it's Jacoby Brissett or Sam Howell, either way, they're going to want to score points. And you're pretty much betting, do I think the Commanders can score 2 to 3 touchdowns? I can, because the rest of the 49ers offense is going to annihilate this Commanders defense.
Yep, I need to double check, but I think Brissett is announced to get the start.
I think he is too.
Yeah, so that's great for Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson.
Give me a bet, Don.
For me, I'm taking Seattle -3.5, 7-1 all time versus Pittsburgh when playing at home. 5 straight wins. Steelers. Oh, I told you the stat for the extra day of rest there.
I'm with you on this.
Steelers on the other side, 2-4 against the spread this season, and their last 4 times that they've ever won the spread this entire year.
Yeah,
4 times that they've won it against quarterbacks getting their first start this season. That's Browning twice, Will Levis, Jordan Love. Only time they've covered.
And who are they playing this week?
They're playing Geno Smith coming back.
Gosh darn it.
I'm taking the veteran quarterback here. They get it done.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let me go into my last NFL pick. It's the Chargers Broncos under 37.5. If you told me I was going to have to watch an Eaton Stick versus Stidham game, I would tell you I'm not watching it, and I'm not going to. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to go watch a different game. That's the end of that.
No, that makes sense. For me, I'm taking the Bears +3. Atlanta is one of the worst teams on the road this season. And the Bears defense, they've been shutting down the run. They are stepping up big.
We're burying Atlanta at the worst time to bury Atlanta?
No, I'm not too worried about it. Because what gets their offense going is getting Tyler Allinger or Bijan going. Yeah. That's kind of the heartbeat. If you could get the ground game going, it frees up Pitts, it frees up London.
Yeah.
Bears have been a suffocating defense against the run for the last 4 weeks.
They've been very good.
So it's going to put the game on Heineke's arm. I'm not scared about that.
Do you think the Bears are in a bad spot right now where they're going to have to not fire Eberflus?
No, because I think that they could have that conversation either way.
If they go 8-9, how can you fire Eberflus?
Considering that they haven't been able to make a playoff run.
It's only been 2 years.
It's only been 2 years, but 2 years of...
This is the second year.
Sub-expectations. I think at worst they get him for one more year, considering you just got DJ Moore, who is looking to play in this game. That's the only player that would really shift this line for me, is if DJ Moore is playing or not, but it looks like
Cole
he will.
Kmet might not play too.
That doesn't... I mean, Cole Kmet's a big weapon.
He's a huge weapon.
But doesn't scare me off the line yet.
I like it.
To me, it doesn't worry me. I think the only reason if Eberflus... What's protecting Eberflus right now is if they go 8-9 and they have the Carolina first-round pick and they have their own first-round pick.
Yeah.
That's what keeps Eberflus for one more season. If they can't get a playoff run with the basically abundance of early draft picks they're going to get, then he's gone.
What is your next pick?
My next one is going to be Browns versus Jets. I'm taking over 37 in this game.
I like that.
I think it's just going to be sloppy. I think it's going to be disgusting.
37 is points.
37 is a low line, and we're going to get, I think, a lot of short field situations, a lot of turnovers. Joe Flacco's been red hot, but he is a statue in the pocket.
I love it.
And he makes these weird interceptions still. Like, take it from a Ravens fan. He makes some throws, and you're like, who did you see there?
Something about the way Flacco throws the ball, though, brother.
No, it's fun to watch. I love watching
gets me
him.
going.
I think there's a lot. And then same thing with Myles Garrett. I think he's just going to tear Stidham
He's
apart.
back. Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be a lot of, oh, there's another sack fumble. Oh, what kind of interception was there? Stidham just barely above 50% completion rate on his entire career, much less this season. I think it's just going to be a disgusting, disgusting game.
I'm going to another bowl game. I gave out this pick back when they were underdogs. Now they're favorites. Yep. Rutgers minus 2.5. I actually got it at plus 1.5. I'm also going to take it at minus 2.5. I like this line.
Sure.
If it gets to 4, then I'm going to get a little scared. I love what Rutgers is going to do for all the reasons said in past episodes. They have so much to prove. This is a huge bowl game for them. They don't usually get to them. They want to win a game. Rutgers, give it to me.
Love it. For my last one, we're taking the Rams -5 versus the Jets.
I love this game.
Or versus the Giants, my apologies.
Giants,
they're making another quarterback change. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor getting the start. Brian Daboll said after what he saw at the second half last week, Taylor earned the start over DeVito.
Yeah, DeVito.
Third quarterback, fourth quarterback change on the season. Basically, their entire offensive line is still a turnstile. That doesn't scare me at all.
Down.
Aaron Donald will just feast there, and I just think the Rams are just a buzzsaw.
They've been doing really good.
They are one team that terrifies me if you're going to have to face them.
I think they just got to stay a little healthier, and they'll be fine.
Exactly.
My last pick is going to be Notre Dame -6.5. I teased it earlier how I like quarterbacks that are about to leave, how they have to put up all that good film.
Yeah.
Sam Hartman's one of those guys. He's got to put up a bunch of good stats. He's got to show the NFL, hey, I can be a competent backup in the NFL.
Yeah.
Maybe even tease a starter like a Sam Howell. He's got to go out there, show the league. -6.5, I don't think is enough. I'd take it up to 10.5. I love the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Wow,
Love
that's
it.
a big line you would take it up to.
I would take it up
impressive.
to that. We have one last thing. It is the Pray for the Parlay. I
Yes.
took a couple of our college games that we were aligned on, put it in a little parlay. So here's what we're going to go do. We're going to take Missouri. We're going to take Penn State. We're going to take Georgia.
Okay.
And we're going to take Washington to all win.
Sure.
Money line. That's plus 780.
I like it.
A plus 780. You put a little unit on it. Enjoy the rewards and go have a happy New Year's. All right, guys. Now, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode. Please go check out the TikTok. Please go check out our Twitter. We're gonna be putting up some graphics this week of all the awards. And don't forget, pray for the parlay.